morning, Jack.
Good morning, John. I'm hyped. Do you know why I'm hyped?
Why are you awake?
I don't know. Usually,
It's a little early for ya.
Usually this is when I start out of bed and, wandering over to the house.
Yeah, look at that nice picture of demons. I mean, really, what could be better, honestly? Woo!
So nice.
Look at that. Look at that comment section. Everyone is already excited. Are the takes so hot you can't hold them any longer? John Chaves, why can't I hold all these takes?
The takes, they're so hot. It's a hot tamale.
Jack got his hot coffee in here.
This is an extra large because I thought I might need it.
Yeah, and I don't have a coffee in me because Jack just bought one.
Yes. So,
yep.
there's some changes in the metagame. I don't know if you've heard, John.
Indeed.
Tau got
are.
hit pretty hard. Custodes are a smoking crater in the ground.
Yeah. So we were complaining about the metagame being stale. And it is not.
It's a jump ball now.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like Tyranids drafted Magic Johnson. But other than that, it's a jump ball.
Yeah, Tyranids did not, they haven't gotten their wrist slap yet.
That's okay, though. There is a
Baharoth evaded, as he does. He evades pretty good. He evaded the balanced data slate.
Yeah, there is a lot going on.
It's quite a bit. Well, let's get started.
Let's just dive into it. Let me also make sure that this is sized appropriately. Doop, 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 doop.
You're gonna you have to pull it up. You have to.
Yeah, whatever.
No, you have to. That works.
We're getting there.
There you go.
There we go.
Technology.
We are smart at the art of war, and the Siegler is still asleep. The man will not be disturbed before 10 a.m. for any reason. Absolutely none.
No, he will be refused. He refuses to be disturbed.
Jack and John are doing this best combo. Callum
Put it
Seymour,
here, bud.
we appreciate you. Yeah, this is, as a guardsman, I'm pretty happy overall. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Custodes and Void Weavers.
Yeah, they were told to think of the hills, and then oh my god, somebody at Games Workshop got run over by some guy playing Custodes who just went bleh and just jammed all their chips in the center.
Yep, and they tried to shoot right in there, one spinner wheels. No, he's a vehicle, and it's just says one model. And
they were like, this will not stand.
No. Yeah.
In fact, that will be your last one.
Yeah, this is the last CP.
Do you know who I am? I write rules for Games Workshop. Not me, obviously. This is the Games Workshop.
This is the Games Workshop guy who's just never having this happen to him again.
Clearly, he was like, never again.
Absolutely never again. Custodes almost feels bad. Honestly, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. But do we want to just roll through it?
We'll roll into it. Let's let's start at the top. Let's take it from the top.
Hot takes. Armor of Contempt. Each time an attack is allocated to an Adeptus Astartes, Sanctic Astartes, Heretic Astartes, or Adeptus Sororitas model, worse than armor penetration characters to get attacked by 1. So -1 AP when you shoot at Sisters or Marines or Cast Marines. Including Grey Knights and Thousand Sons and Death Guard.
I don't know if Thousand Sons have... Do they have Heretic Astartes?
They have Heretic Astartes and Rubricae Vacuum Astartes.
Sure. They have some weird Astartes keyword, but they also have Heretic. Okay,
yeah.
So cool. All right, so everything with power armor and Terminator armor got insanely durable.
Yeah. Not Storm Shields.
Not Storm Shields, Relic Shields, or Combat Shield.
So Storm Shields literally exist for an invuln, and you're better into AP Dash, which I just don't give a single fart about. Not a single toot.
Yes, you are going to be removing the Storm Shields from your models. Yep. I agree.
You know what I did because I'm a smart boy? I magnetized all of my Vanguard veterans on the right arm.
You know what I did? Because I'm a dumb boy?
You borrowed Sieglers?
I glued them.
Okay. No. You misunderstand. The left arm is the Storm Shield arm. I only magnetized the right arm. So all my Van Vets are a Storm Shield and a Magnet arm. Yeah, well, I wanted to use half as many magnets, and you know what? I got away with it for several years. But,
I mean, why would you ever not need Storm Shields?
Why would I ever not use
Storm Shields? We all glued our Storm Shields on. I'm going to have to take clippers to them and be very sad about it.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to do.
My Black Templar, Assault Intercessor, Conversion,
10
Vanguard Vets.
Yeah.
They're getting the clippers.
50% chance that I just like stop and buy new Van Vets. But that's okay. This is really, really good.
Very good.
This is just model. Biggest winners, Terminators.
Terminators, oh my god. 2-up in cover means against AP2 you're still taking 2s.
Basically, every single Terminator just got a free 1-up armor save. Just, that's what you got.
Yep.
Amazing, because you no longer need, whatever it's called. Yeah. Blade Guard Veterans, way worse.
Way worse.
Still get a 4-up invuln, but
you don't take them.
you don't take Blade Guard anymore.
You do not take Blade Guard.
All the unit, and honestly, like, Terminators, I just think I'm throwing my Assault Terminators with Thunderhammers out. Like, they're good, but like, I just don't want to pay 10 points for Thunderhammer when I already have double Lightning Claws.
Yeah, the Storm Shield literally does not do a single thing.
It's a 4-up invuln against, like, Multi-Meltas. But, like, so be it.
Yeah, if you're hitting me with a Multi-Melt, I get a 5-up armor save. Like, okay.
Yeah, you do get the same effect anyway, plus an invuln. So on Van Vets, it's not as bad because a 4-up invuln is nice. You're basically just paying 4 or 5 points, whatever they are now, for an invuln. Still not bad.
Yeah, it's fine. I think you take it off and you either go with Chainsword or you go with Twin Lightning Claws, which you probably do take Twin Lightning Claws.
Yep. Nemesis, Dread Knights, and Sacrosants are also exempt from this since they have Sacrosanct shields and they're sick of seeing Dread Knights. So that's fine. But Grey Knight Infantry and Terminators got a lot better. I like this as a way to make the Terminator builds for Grey Knights much better.
I think Paladins are actually really good now because they can take Armored Resilience. You can give them a 5-up Feel No Pain. So Armored Resilience on a Terminator in cover is ludicrously tough.
Yeah.
For no reason. Like you're taking 2-ups against AP3.
Yep. That's pretty strong. So Callum Seymour with the £2 super chat. Thank you so much. Are Paragon Warsuits viable yet with this? They are closer than they've ever been before.
Yes.
I don't know if they've crossed the line yet, but honestly, this is the point where I might actually be willing to find out.
We'll get to a change down below that benefits them as much as this, maybe more.
Possibly even more, yeah. Super good for Sisters. This is a great day for Sisters. Big winners here. Thousand Suns. You literally can no longer shoot damage one weapons at Terminators. Just give up.
Stop. I don't care if it's AP4.
Yeah.
It will do not
even
not a
even your Scion Lambden Lions, they're still going to give them 2-ups. Just give up.
I have no idea what you're talking
AP3
about.
damage one. Yeah. No one cares anymore.
Yeah.
But the 6 is out of mode. If you're under the effect of any other rule that worsens or reduces AP, you can't get both. Which I think they just did that for clarity. They ended up changing both, and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Big glow up for Thousand Suns.
They just didn't want to miss anything, which fair enough.
Nice help for Death Guard. Although I think Thousand Suns still get better from that because they were in a better spot.
Yeah.
And also other things.
And also other things we'll get to.
You know who my big winner from this is? Mortifiers. They have Adeptus Sororitas.
Oh my god, they do, don't they? Sure. I mean,
come on. You know you want to see the Mort train?
They have a 3-up. No, one guy has a 3-up.
They have a 4-up.
They have a 4-up. One guy has a 3-up.
Reducing that AP by 1 helps a lot.
Adaptive subroutines. Jack, hear me out. Vanguard Spearhead.
Oh,
I mean, it didn't get worse.
And and since everyone's commenting on it, all of the increase your saves do stack with this. So the Gravis armor buff.
If it reduces the AP, does not stack. Anything that increases your save does stack.
Yep.
So you getting to a 2-up is a big deal because that way AP 0 still gives you a 2-up. And anything that improves your armor save past that is incrementally better. Like when you go to a 1-up, that's amazing. If you can get yourself to a 0-up, so like cover ++1, oh my god, you're going to be very, very durable. So it's a whole new day. Like we're going to be looking at this reevaluates the entire Space Marine book. And I think vehicles also
and Sisters and
really
Chaos Marines.
good.
Space Marine vehicles got significantly better. Anything that has a 2-up armor save, a Leviathan Dreadnought got a lot better.
Sure did.
That's just
It's going to be very hard to kill.
Yeah.
It's just going to be very hard to kill.
Oh, the 1-up save Land Raider Achilles.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So
can you get it a 0-up?
No, it's +1. It's a 2-up armor, +1 to armor saves, and then -1 AP of all coming up.
Oh, that's
so
what
it functionally has a 0-up. Yes.
I mean, it's only getting hit with like AP 3 and 4, but like
but then
you still
get a 3-up against las cannons and a 4-up against multi-meltas.
Space Marines are tonka tough right now.
Space Marines are about to get way tough.
Way tough. Because this isn't even like ignores AP 1 or 2.
No.
This is ignores AP 4. Like invulns and Space Marines don't really matter right now.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. So, aircraft. When mustering your army for a match play game, this is the same as before. Cool. Indirect fire weapons. Everyone except Astra militarum. And you know what? I'm totally okay with that.
Oh my god, I'm so happy to see this change.
Yeah.
Indirect fire weapons are my least favorite thing in the entire game. In the entire game. And they've nerfed them across the board. I think this is like the biggest change for making games of 40k fun.
I like the Bodyguard change. We'll get to that too.
That's also big. But that comes up far less often than somebody just takes lol indirect weapons and tables you.
Yeah.
And they are going to have a much harder time doing that now.
Someone pointed out that Fallen don't get the +1 armor save, and lol, I'm so sorry.
Oh my god, do they not?
I don't think they're Heretic Astartes or Astartes. They're like Fallen Astartes or something.
All those fallen armies, people are gonna have to start switching off them.
Everyone's saying redo last week's tier list. That may have to happen. We're gonna have to do a lot of Space Marine content because this changes everything.
Big change in Space Marine. If anyone ever thinks that we like
are gonna not want to do Space Marine stuff, no.
Come on,
Jack and I always want to do
Space Marines.
Space Marines.
Space Marines.
Yeah. So indirect fires are -1 ballistic skill if they cannot see the target, and you increase the armor save of the target by 1.
They specifically call out impaler cannons, which we thought because they have a more toned down indirect that they might evade it, but they do not.
Yeah. Nope. They're just getting that too. So it doesn't matter if you need a cider system like Tyranids, you're gonna get it. The one thing I don't like here is that worsening someone's ballistic skill is only working on people who accept ballistic skill modifiers. So not Tau. Tau just ignore that, because why wouldn't they have their indirect ignore ballistic skill modifiers?
Oh.
Yeah. So,
well done.
Yay, Tau indirect did not get worse.
Tau indirect did not get... Well, one unit. One Tau indirect unit did not
you
get
do
worse.
at least get the +1 save, and that will only be on airbursts who are AP1. So essentially, airbursts went back to AP dash if they can't see
And they
them.
did nerf airbursts again. Not specifically, but they nerfed the AP.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's going to be that big of a deal, because it's add 1 to armor.
Yeah.
So against Marines, 3 up
is a 2-up.
Is a 2-up.
Yeah.
Even in the open.
Yep.
So I do think that Tau indirect is going to go away, even if they do ignore the ballistic skill modifier.
Yeah.
Just because it's going to be impossible to kill Marines.
Yeah.
Straight up impossible.
Yeah. Astra militarum, don't take this indirect penalty. Lol. But yeah, this is an awesome change for the indirect fire weapons.
You're gonna have to argue real hard, guys, to say that worsening the characteristic by 1 is not modifying it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is a modifier.
I think the matrix on Night Spinners is a hit modifier. I think those only ignore hit modifiers, not ballistic skill modifiers.
Yeah.
But the Tau Commander one, it does ignore ballistic skill modifiers, right? Or is it just hit modifiers?
I thought you
Tau
looked
one?
it up.
I recall it being ballistic skill, but if you want, just double check for me. So they're saying in the chat maybe they don't. So maybe it's only hit modifiers that they ignore, and at that point, yay, this is awesome.
Yes, I do think it would have gone away either way.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, I could be wrong on that one. So
it's just hit roll modifiers.
Oh, sweet. So the ballistic skill modifier matters a lot then. Yay, screw Tau.
Yeah, this is like the biggest nerf to Tau, honestly. Because Tau do rely on indirect fire weapons because they have no combat. Yeah. So if you're behind a wall, they have to shoot you with indirect.
I was wrong. They only ignore hit modifiers, not ballistic modifiers. So Tau are still affected by that. Awesome, wonderful. Thank you. Never mind. I'm wrong. Cool. Okay. Let's get up to it. So bodyguards. All bodyguard in quote abilities to basically you look out, sir.
And they have a list of like what is a bodyguard ability.
Yeah.
That character can use the lookout sir rule even this unit contains fewer than 3 models. This basically takes the bodyguard rule and throws it straight in the trash, which is fine. No. It was not that impactful of a rule. Like it was. Honestly, I don't think it's a rule worth saving. I think it's totally fine to toss it.
I agree. It does just hit it. And I think all the bodyguard units, you just say screw it. And you say, I'm just going to take something else to be the lookout sir unit at this point. Unless a unit had intrinsic value beyond a bodyguard. But like now, company veterans gone.
Company veterans are out. I mean, you can still take a 2-man and just
to be a cheap Space Marine unit that is now very hard to indirect. So hard to indirect that cheap 40-point unit.
Yeah.
But they're no longer a bodyguard.
Yeah, they're not servitors. Servitors don't reduce AP by 1, so...
I would pay the 10 points to bait, because now the company veterans just kind of have a 2-up save.
Yeah.
And then much. Indirect is like, oh, +1 to that save. It's like, oh, okay.
Oh, I basically have a Storm Shield now in cover.
Yeah, in cover they get a 0 up against Indirect. So and that's without a Storm Shield. So like, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Notable exceptions, as the chat is noticing. Yeah, so... all the bodyguard stuff is nerfed. So it just stops the abuse of bodyguard. Bodyguard units still protect. Snipers can get past bodyguards. And more importantly, you cannot dangle a unit in front of the bodyguards with no one closer and no consequences.
Yeah, which, as I said, the bodyguard rule is dead and nobody is mourning it. Like, honestly, it's a rule that needed to just leave the game wholesale.
Yep.
And that's what they did, basically.
Yep.
And I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that.
Yep. Yeah, so Eldar Rangers can snipe everything now. So yeah, this is actually a little bit of a buff to sniper weapons, which I like, because we have not seen sniping as a game mechanic beyond the Death Jester in a long time. Like, no one actually takes sniper weapons, because Bodyguard is just like, wow, don't even bother trying.
But you can just stop with that right now, yeah. We have a $5 super chat from Roan Huntone. I guarantee you I'm not pronouncing that correct.
It might be Ron
Huntone.
John, I don't know. Really like your content. Can you imagine how frustrating Black Templar Land Speeder Storms will be to kill now?
Pretty tough. Can they take Black Templar? Can Black Templars take Land Speeder Storms?
Yeah, they can take scouts.
Okay. Which one? Oh, Death Watch. Death Watch cannot. They're pretty tough. They do get a 5-up invuln, but I think the invuln doesn't matter, because you have 3-up armor on that, right? Or 4-up armor?
Storm is 4-up armor.
So God, they're so much worse than Vipers.
It's okay. Still, that is just annoying.
They are super, super hard to kill, because even against AP3, they're getting a 6-up. Like, AP1, they ignore. Mm-hmm. Indirect can't kill them now, because they get +1 to their save. So, yeah, they're going to be very durable.
Yeah, all power armor armies just to the moon. Rocketed straight up the tier list.
Yeah, they basically reached into the book and just increased the save characteristic by 1 across the board.
The entire game, yeah.
And that is, with some exceptions, it's super strong.
Yeah.
Dreadnoughts are going to be a bear to deal with.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, Redemptors, they don't have an invuln? You don't need it.
You no longer need an invuln.
So I'm planning on running Redemptors that are just tough.
Mm-hmm. Can you do me a favor and pull up the wording of Crystal Targeting Matrix?
Yeah. If it does ignore ballistic skill modifiers, then you will take it. But
if your Night Spinners essentially just go up in points,
they essentially go up in points and down 1 AP, which is huge. Massive.
The AP is the big thing.
Yeah, I don't think you take it, even if you ignore ballistic
skill. The +1 AP is going to help a lot against Eldar stuff, because it's all AP2.
Oh, wait, hold on. It's going to be in the... There we go. Crystal Targeting. This is my...
Yeah.
Any or all modifiers to the roll, to the hit roll.
Oh, so not ballistic skill modifiers.
Not ballistic skill modifiers. They don't modify the roll.
Sweet. Yeah. So nope. Elder Indirect just got same way every other Indirect did.
As a guy who plays Eldar now, totally fine with this. Get him out of here. Get him the hell out of my list. I don't want Indirect against me, for me, anything. Get Indirect out of here. Yep. Indirect and Bodyguards, they can both go away. Honestly.
Yeah.
They're both cancerous game mechanics, and they've been excised.
The one thing that did in fact stay is Tyrant Guard did get FAQs to their, so they now provide lookout cert to a Hive Tyrant, even though it is a more than 9 wound model. So it means the Hive Tyrant will no longer be dangling out on objectives.
Yeah.
But a Hive Tyrant in the middle of a Tyranid army is going to be very hard to shoot.
Yeah, the problem is that you're not going to be able to shoot they should have said that you as long as you can see the Tyrant Guard. Then I would be totally fine with it. Yeah. But
the downside of those mechanics is that like when you can see the Tyrant Guard is that people will like intentionally move their models to not see the Tyrant Guard. Because remember early 8th edition, I would literally drive rhinos in front of my gun so that I couldn't see Poxwalkers, but I could see Demon Princes, and I'd just shoot the Demon Princes to death.
I know. The problem is there's no real way to finagle this rule for it to really work in a good way.
Yeah.
I don't see it. They did nerf it quite a bit. You can't hang a Hive Tyrant in the center of the board.
That removes some of the feels beds.
It does. The Hive Tyrant has to be like 6 inches further back, which does help quite a bit.
Yeah. I really don't mind conceptually, I'm a Tyranid player, so take that with salt.
I
don't
always
mind a leader organism in the center of the swarm not being shot.
Yeah.
The leader organism leading the charge in front of the entire army not getting shot is like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean,
same thing with Vol Celestin, all that.
There is no universe where Tyrant Guard died indirect.
No,
not
involved.
So really, you're just going to kill them with combat if they're behind a wall.
Yep.
But if they have to be right on top of you for the Hive Tyrant to not be shot, it does make it more accessible to combat. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Bodyguard nerf. Good for the game.
mean, it definitely nerfs that interaction. Does it
Absolutely
nerf
does.
it enough? We'll see.
At least it's something.
Yeah.
But we do have many faction-specific ones.
Yes, for sure. Let's get into
Sisters
them. I'm
of
super
Battle.
excited for these.
I am so excited for Sisters.
I forgot about the first bullet point.
Yeah, you gain a new Miracle Ice at the beginning of each turn.
That's so huge.
Double Miracle Ice off the bat is marvelous. It also makes Leap of Faith immediately a better secondary.
Yeah, it makes it like a 12.
Yeah, it takes
like
it,
an 8.
It just makes it 12.
Yeah, it makes it one you take, and you gain a lot more Miracle Dice, which is fun.
Yeah.
When you played against me like last week,
Yep.
you had like one Miracle Die a turn. It was
Pathetic.
pathetic.
Yeah, because I wasn't killing anything because you were Custodes, and it's like, well, I just get my one per battle round and nothing else because I can't kill Custodes.
And I took a Warlord trait just so I can get one on a character that I'm going to burn on an advanced roll, so that I can like try and get some points on the secondary. No.
Yeah,
we are now here's a ton of extra Miracle Dice, have fun with it, and you will.
Stack this with a Sanctum, and you actually have a lot now. And now you finally have reasons to take all of those, use an extra Miracle Ice a phase.
Exactly.
Because like a Simulacrum's actually up a point.
Yes.
Yo! Brian Bootlier with a $20 super chat. Brian, you are a hero of every faction you want. And with that super chat, pulling the Night Spinner out, does that mean putting back the Fire Prism?
So I
Fire
think they're
Prisms are
not
high
related.
They're not related, but also we did magnetize them, so we're not going to do both.
Yes. Yeah. I do think you remove the Night Spinner from your list. They became a ton worse.
Yeah.
Which is fine. As I said, indirect, get it out of here. I will never cry for it.
Good.
The Fire Prism, whether the Fire Prism goes in, has nothing to do with whether Night Spinners are good or bad. Although you do get a bunch of extra points. So
Night Spinners are like AP5, right?
you mean Fire Prisms?
Fire
Yeah,
Prisms.
they're pretty high AP. They might be 4.
4 or 5. They're
Four or
at
five.
least 4.
They're good into Dreadnoughts, and you'll see Dreadnoughts. They're good
Yeah.
into Nids, and you'll see Nids. Honestly, yeah, I like Fire Prisms.
I could see Fire Prisms making a sneaky way back. Also, Fire and Fade mechanics just got a lot stronger
Yes.
because there is a lot less indirect fire.
Let me check. I'm right here. They are AP5.
So
So they'll cut right through
a Redemptor.
A Redemptor save. They don't care.
Yep.
And then you can link fire to pick up like Maleceptors, that sort of thing.
And bones, yeah.
Yeah. So that's actually a huge change, and I think the Fire Prisms are quite good.
Yeah,
I think they're quite good.
Quite strong. Adeptus Sororitas, gain the Miracle Dice.
So that's a big change to the faction, and they get -1 AP on all incoming weapons. And then I know you're like, what? Well, Valorous Heart.
What
did Valorous Heart? Because it doesn't work with well, they changed it.
Yep, you cannot reroll wounds against a model with this conviction. So Valorous Heart is now 5 up against mortals, and you cannot reroll wounds against Valorous Heart. Period.
And you get extra Miracle Dice, and you already have the Reduce AP.
Yeah, I know it now works on AP3.
The Reduce AP does not work on Sacrosanct.
Correct.
So 30 Valorous Heart Sacrosanct is no longer the build for Valorous Heart.
And Sisters lost Bodyguard functionally.
Yes. So Sisters did take some nerfs because of this, because they were relying on broken core game mechanics that got fixed.
They really were.
But they got some buffs.
I think that these buffs are enough to just
I do think
keep
so.
Sisters better than they were before.
Yeah,
couple
for
of
sure.
hits, quite a few buffs is a net positive increase for Sisters. Now the rest of the game also is increasing, but this is pretty good still.
Dante AP4 no longer goes straight through Redemptor because they reduced that down to AP3 now.
Yep. But the AP5 on the going to AP4 does cut through the Redemptor.
Yes. So they gave Sisters some solid buffs, and they took some nerfs in exchange because core game mechanics that were just broken had to be cut out.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy for where Sisters are. I think they're definitely stronger than where they were. And Valorous Heart is going to be annoying to try to kill.
Absolutely.
See, the fun part is, 30 Valorous Heart Sacrosancts is like very close to the same durability. But you know what's the same durability as 30 Valor's Heart Sacrosanct from before?
30 Battle
Sisters of Battle.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's just better. 30 Retributors.
Mm-hmm.
Just rocking up the board with multi-meltas. And it's just like super hard to deal with them, super hard to shoot them away, and you can't reroll wounds. Very excited for Sisters.
Yeah. Mr. Kerry K, who has been a member for 7 months, asks thoughts on Death Guard with OBSEC Terminators and Ignore AP1 for Plague Marines and Terminators. That is a big help for Death Guard.
Yes.
The indirect nerf does tone down the Plague Burst Crawler.
A lot.
But I still think that Death Guard are actually quite interesting for the first time.
Yeah.
They are going to be a lot tougher. They still have a little weakness to Mortals, I think. But
Yes.
at least it's no longer... Like, remember when they were bad to Mortals and also people would just, like, shoot them off the table? Mm-hmm. You can't have both. So Death
you
Guard
no longer have both,
get a nice...
and we will get to Death Guard
We absolutely
in
will.
a bit if you stay tuned.
So Adeptus Sororitas, we're good? We're done?
Yep.
Astra
They look great. I'm super happy.
Sisters
with the
got a
changes.
huge buff. Very, very happy for them.
Yes.
They needed it.
Yeah.
Astra
Speaking of armies that got a huge buff.
Astra Militarum got a big buff as well. Yeah. Add the following to the blah, 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 blah.
If everything's from the same regiment.
Yeah. So my one downside here is that this doesn't help Scions at all. And I'm sad.
I'm sorry.
It's like totally fine, but also I like Scions like a little bit better than Guard, so I was hoping that would be something that got love. But anyway, each time a regiment makes a thing, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wins the target. So that's just really
It's just across the board.
across the board. That is a very nice help to their shooting output. And
It's a massive change to the shooting
all of the
output.
like advisors and auxiliary units, so vultures and valkyries and things like that, don't benefit. But all of the generic guard things that are painted green with Cadian helmets on the GW website, all of that gets auto 6s.
So here's how to evaluate 6s to hit auto wound. If you would wound on 4s, 6s to hit auto wounding is essentially +1 to hit. It's essentially exploding 6s to hit.
Yep.
Because every 6 now counts
And
as
if
2.
you wound on
because they're
5s, it's Teslas.
It's Tesla.
If
So
you wound on 6s, it's way better.
yeah, if you wound on 6s, it is every 6 to hit is essentially 6 hits.
I kind of like that, like, weight of las guns is just totally going to hurt now.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
weight of las guns is actually going to get places.
Yeah, rapid fire 2.
Mm-hmm.
Brat, brat, and then every 6 to hit. And then they're going to reroll 1s as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to massively impact. What I like about it is it massively impacts the low strength shooting you didn't see,
Yes.
but it does not impact as much.
But it still helps.
It still definitely helps the high strength stuff quite a bit, but you know, it's for the high strength stuff. It's essentially every 2 6s to hit counts as 3 6s to hit. Counts as 3 hits.
Yeah, and it helps Brood Brothers. Woo!
Sure.
Brood Brothers is the worst regiment, but it is a regiment. Dang it.
You're not wrong.
Yep. Lehman Russ are still 2-up saves, which is awesome. And tank orders and orders are just better in the same ways they were before. None of that changed. Just give extra ones.
So their firepower got bumped, and
One more.
No,
these do not affect Scions. Scions do not have a regiment. That is my biggest regret of this, is that it should have been Scions as well. Change the point cost for an infantry squad to the following, and that means that none of their unit war gear is included anymore. Okay. Artorius Rex is saying Militarum Tempestus counts as a regiment separately from Tempestus Regiment. In that case, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Go
They're going to
Scions.
spam out a lot of AP2 las guns.
Yeah.
And that's where the 6s to hit auto wounding is going to come into play massively.
So I actually really liked taking it in previous years, taking the one that is +6 inch to rapid fire weapons, because then they can rapid fire from deep strike. So a 10-man Scion squad just drops in and is like, here's 40 shots, here's 40 shots, here's 40 shots at strength 4 AP2 damage 1, and you just drop bullets on people.
You just drown them in auto wounds. It's going to be a lot of damage. I think Scion squads are going to have some real damage output.
Let's also consider that infantry squads. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the latest, see what the heck an infantry squad gets access to now. Because I think what you do is you just buy a plasma gun, a las cannon, a vox caster, and a power fist on every single squad.
Yeah, it definitely makes them better.
Definitely makes them better. But there's a real world with Cadians. Yes, zip zap, take a dirt nap. Exactly. I really want to see someone take a Cadian army with 9 infantry squads that all just have las cannons and plasma cannons.
Yeah.
And just rerolling your hits. And because you're Cadians.
No, Cadians are going to shoot hard. If you want to look that up, I can talk about this. 10 Adam Buck super chat from Dante. I feel like the 5++ Templar vow is worse now that your whole army is reducing AP by 1. Feel like gaining cover has more value to it now. You can save AP 1 on a 2+. Thanks for great content. 100%. I do not think you take that vow anymore.
Yeah.
I think you take, especially in Tyranid land, I was thinking about this. In Tyranid land, I think you take the 6s to hit and combat auto wound. Because they're high toughness, they're monsters, they're not vehicles.
You don't want to scout closer to the Tyranids?
No. 5+ Feel No Pain will not save me from the 40 mortal wounds that are coming my way. Yeah. But I think once you get to them, you Hellbrecht for reroll hits, and then you just fish for 6s and you drown them in saves.
Yeah.
That feels very strong, and I think that you switch from the Crusader squads because they have a 4+ save on a lot of their guys. You were looking to abuse that 5+. I think you switch from from Crusader squads to Assault Intercessor squads.
Yep.
In cover, taking AP1 on 2s, getting Feel No Pain. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And then they can double fight with any buffs you choose to put on them.
Buffs, yeah.
So I think that's actually going to be quite strong.
Yeah. So we've covered a couple buffs, and now let's talk about Custodes.
I don't see Custodes. Where are they, John?
They're gone.
They're gone.
Custodes got hurted.
Hurted the worsted.
So
honestly,
change the third bullet point of the detachment abilities of Custodes attachments to only troops gain OBSEC. So Trajan lost OBSEC, Wardens lost OBSEC, Terminators lost OBSEC.
Bikes lost.
Vexlas.
Oh no, Bikes didn't have it.
Bikes didn't have it. Vexlas lost OBSEC.
All characters losing OBSEC is massive because characters was the biggest thing you could abuse it with.
Yeah.
So it's just troops. Okay, fine. Maybe their objective control didn't need to be that good. So that's fine. That's a fair change. All right, what's next, John? I'm sure these are all winners.
Add the following to the esteemed amalgam: Emperor's Auspice and Martial Discretion. What is Martial Discretion?
That's the Emperor's Chosen one where you get to switch shield hosts.
No, that's esteemed amalgam.
Oh,
Emperor's Auspice is no rerolls. Martial Discretion.
Martial Discretion. I thought.
Is that? That's not the Shadowkeeper one. No. What is Martial Discretion?
What is Martial? I don't have the codex.
I'm just gonna Google it.
Yeah, Google it. I'm sure Chad will tell us beforehand.
Yeah, probably.
I thought it was. I just kind of assumed it was.
Let me just find out what it is.
Oh, switching stances.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Youchies! No. Oof! Ouch!
So that one change. Yeah, Emperor's Auspice, Martial Discretion, and Esteemed Amalgam into once a game. And the next change as well. Well, let's cover the next change because we're about to talk about both of them together.
Change the Adeptus Custodes keyword to Adeptus Custodes Infantry for Arcane Genetic Alchemy.
Which is the 4+ to wound.
Yep.
And Emperor's Auspice got even worse again. Oh, so
Emperor's Auspice is once a game infantry only. And Transhuman, I'm not calling it Arcane Genetic Alchemy. Transhuman is as many times as you want infantry only.
So there is GW was like, what's that over there, Custodes? And Custodes was like, huh? I don't know. And then GW clocked him over the head with a brick. There is a smoking crater in the ground where Custodes used to be.
You could still do cool things with troop spam lists.
No, you can't.
It could be better. It's not as good as Custodes were.
That's not a turn off rerolls more than one time.
Yeah, well, you just need to really do it at the right time on a 10-man unit of guard that are running at someone.
This is terrible, and you know it.
Yeah, no, this is better than what else Custodes have right now, but it's not as good as anything they had yesterday.
If you're playing Custodes, I think you do that.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Because vehicles you can just reroll against is like, oof, ouch, you're not actually tough.
There is the only way to make sure, John. Like, they nuked them from orbit.
On the other hand, I was rerolling against your Dreadnoughts in our last game and still killed one over the entire game, so like...
Sure, they are tougher. Trust me, buddy. No, the turning off rerolls was putting in work in that game. Because you did have a lot of rerolls and you'd allocate them, I'd be like, alright, this one's not taking damage.
When I know that you're not going to turn it off, now I can put all the shots into one thing and just be like, take saves.
Yeah, and you can... bikes that you can reroll against, bikes that you're not transhuman against.
They're not that tough.
They're not.
They're tough. They're not.
They're tough. They're not good for their. They're not tough for their points.
Yeah. No, that is a problem for Adeptus Custodes.
Yes, Adeptus Custodes went from one of the best armies in the game to one of the worst.
I don't think they're one of the worst, but they definitely took a
with the
big
buffs
claw.
that the worst armies got.
Yeah, well, they took a hit. That is the sound of 1,000 competitive Custodes players listing models on eBay. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Admech. Admech, as far as I can
that's
tell,
enough of it talking about Adeptus Custodes.
stayed the same.
They stayed exactly the same?
Stayed exactly the same.
All right, well, let's get to something that definitely did not stay the same and has me
Salamanders.
super excited.
Salamanders
I'm
got
so
a
excited.
Little buff for Salamanders. So Salamanders, with the change to Armor of Contempt, they now get each time an attack is made against a unit with this tactic, the attack's wound roll cannot be rolled. Can't reroll wounds against Salamanders army-wide.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Salamanders are going to be
Giga-tough.
Super tough. Because they reduce AP by 1.
Yep.
And you can't reroll to wound against them.
Yep.
So, you remember what they did to Custodes? They just migrated it over to Salamanders.
Yeah, Salamanders just got an insane buff.
Yeah, if you listen to Nick, it's not that big because people don't reroll wounds.
Yeah, they do.
They do though. They really do. Not anymore. Not against me because I'm going to be playing Salamanders.
Yep, Jack's a Salamander player now.
I'm a Salamanders player. That is huge. It's on their vehicles too. So like if you want to wound toughness 7
or 8
and you want to reroll wounds,
and you can't.
that character that's toughness 7 with -1 to wound is never dying ever in the entire game.
Yeah.
That is a massive buff, and I'm going to be playing it today.
Yeah, Salamanders are crazy.
Yeah, Salamanders are the best Marines, and I don't think there's that much debate about it.
Yeah, they were already like on the fringe of being cool. I still like Dark Angels a lot.
Dark Angels are pretty good.
Dark Angels love
they have transhuman across the board, basically.
Yep.
A lot of their Deathwing stuff.
They also have better mortal wound ignoring than you do.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
So,
but +1 to wound all wherever you want it on all the Melthers and Flamers is really nice right now. Lots of good things. Jack about to paint his Custodes green. That's pretty good, actually. That's all right, buddy. You can borrow mine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
No, I'm super excited for Salamanders. I'm like, I was looking for like a direction to go. I was like, I don't really know what I want to play. Like Salamanders. They look fun as hell. Honestly, like I'm just gonna stand in front of people and
like
just what?
Like, Dark Angels love that reduce AP by 1 a lot. I'm with you on that one, Dante. Because you don't have to do anything
on the chat. We had a super chat.
Yo, we did. Miles E with a $5 super chat. Miles, champion of Titan right here.
That's right.
Super hyped to test out new Grey Knight units. Paladins and covered with armor resilience get a 0-up save. Also, Grey Knight servitors have Sanctic Astartes for
okay, sure.
You know what? I think servitors do have Adeptus Astartes as well. They probably do.
Probably,
adorable. Yeah. They almost certainly
and
do.
Miles has been sticking with the Grey Knights through thick and thin, so he
Go
deserves
Miles.
this.
Absolutely. If you were a Grey Knight player before everyone bought 5 Dread Knights and you are still one, you deserve this buff.
Yep. Dread Knights specifically do not get the benefit of the buff, so it's going to probably change the builds going forward.
But I'm totally okay with that because Dread Knight spam was boring. It was boring to play against. It was so boring. Chaos Space Marines did not change, but they got the Armor of Contempt above.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm super excited.
Good for Chaos Space Marines. You know what? I wonder if their new book they're going to keep this as well because GW keeps insisting that there's a Chaos Space Marine Codex coming in the next month, and they've been saying that for a year.
It is the year of chaos.
It is the year of chaos. Yikes. 12-point Chaos Space Marine spam viable?
Maybe.
That actually might be.
It may actually be. Because all they needed was durability and not to die to indirect.
Yeah.
And they got both of those. And CSM, their problem has never been that they don't hit. CSM hit in combat harder than anybody else in the entire game.
Yep.
And so they may actually be really good now. Like that, I think might just be what they needed.
Mm-hmm. Forest Castle asks, can we take a moment to appreciate how terrible orcs are right now? Rip. F's in the chat, boys.
Deep F's in the chat.
Squig buggies, gone.
Bye-bye.
Ballistic skill 6.
See you, Chief.
Ballistic skill 6 free points.
Yeah, ballistic skill 6, so you're not getting the 4s.
No.
Mr. Carry K says Novoke traits hurt. Novoke trait hurts from the ignore AP1. Necron Gauss from Warriors heavy list are gonna hurt versus any power armor.
If you step up and you ignore cover with like warrior bricks and shooting, that's gonna be better. But you definitely want to be more shooting than combat, I think.
And you will use that ignore cover thing far more often.
Necrons don't really do a lot of mortals, right?
Only if you take like the 350 point.
Right. Yeah, F's for orcs.
F's for orcs. F. Please, everyone in the chat.
F's in the chat, people.
F's in the chat.
Death Guard just gain OBSEC on Blightlord Terminators and Death Guard.
Oh, they only gain OBSEC.
Yeah, they just gain OBSEC. Yep.
Yeah, their Terminators are about to become really tough.
Yeah, the ignore AP1 is really, really good, and then the ignore 1 AP.
Downgrading AP.
That's really good on 2-up armor saves, and if you put them in cover and your -1 damage, there is no
-1 damage.
particularly efficient way to kill that other than mortal wounds. So we're gonna have to do that.
I love the F's in the chat.
F's in the chat, people.
All right, yeah. We do have another super chat before the F's completely obscure it. Dalton Peters, $5 super chat. Woo! Hey guys, how far do you guys feel this bumps up Space Marines generally and T-Sun's Death Guard Grey Knights? Is armor contempt enough to get them up with Tau and Quins? Obviously not Nits. Well, we'll get to Quins and Tau in a second. I do think they dropped substantially.
Off the cuff, I would say Space Marines went from being a B- army to an A to A+, depending on chapter.
Yeah, I think Salamanders are definitely top tier now.
Yep.
CSM actually could be like...
CSM is going to be annoyingly good.
Yeah, CSM is going to be like, oh, it's CSM, and then you remember they got the buff, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh my god, this is super... Because they're going to rumble up to you. Yeah. And your indirect is not going to work.
Yep.
And they're going to be just annoyingly tough per point. And then when they hit you, you disappear into a fine mist.
CSM do still kill everything they hit.
Everything they hit, not even close.
Yep. Drukhari, I believe, have the same changes as before.
Yeah.
Looks the same. Necrons have the same changes as before.
Did they change? They changed Typex.
That was in the last one.
That was in... Okay, sure.
Yeah, no cares.
All right.
Necrons and Orcs stayed the same.
Yep.
Last two to cover are Harlequins and Tau.
Oh, those don't matter at all, right? We can just skip those.
Yeah, Harlequins.
Harlequins!
Changed.
They were S+ tier before. They were ragdolling S tier armies.
Yep.
Across the board. You were seeing them win everything. So let's see what they got. Change the Mirror Architect pivotal role to read you choose one unit. That is... And it's core. One core unit. Yep. So you're taking Mirror Architect out of your list. You just are. It stayed the same points cost.
Yeah.
So instead of affecting all Sadith units, it now affects one friendly Sadith core unit, and you don't get it turn 1. So you're cutting that.
Yep.
You're cutting that.
100%. I mean, if you want a 3-man... If you're going to take one 3-man Void Weaver squad, I think I might still take -6 inch range.
No, it doesn't affect Void Weavers. It's core.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's gone.
Gone.
Did they not add core? No, they did in the Eldari.
They did in the Eldari.
I was about to say, like, there's no way they didn't.
Yeah, they technically nerfed Baharoth by the slightest possible amount you can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
okay. They changed in favor of Kagarak, which was the auto 6s to melee hits and melee wounds or a save. So it's still like a fine Warlit trait.
Yeah, the Death Jester is no longer insane.
Yeah.
But he's still good. For 70 points, like, come on.
Yeah.
And then the real change. I mean, first off, Mirror Architect is just a pain in the behind. Constantly.
Gone.
Just gone. Yeah, it's just smoke and crater in the ground. Fine. Glad that's out of there. Star Weavers went up 15 and Void Weavers went up 40.
I am a little disappointed that they didn't change the cost of Prism Cannons. I think a Prism Cannon Void Weaver at 130 is probably the right number. I was hoping a Haywire Cannon one would be like 120 just to give a
like
reason.
110 or something?
115 maybe. Just to give a reason to take the Haywire Cannon. But that's purely from a diversity standpoint. There is still only Prism Cannons and you're probably still taking some.
You probably take like 3.
I was thinking like 5.
I might take more. Yeah.
3, 1, 1.
So I'm much happier with them doing this than like undershooting it. Yep. Void Weaver spam was just a thing that didn't need to exist, and they were undercosted by about 30 to 40 points for what you got. I think that I think they just didn't realize when they published it how durable that -1 to hit no rerolls made them, alongside Luck of the Laughing God and a 4-up invuln. I think they just underestimated it, honestly, because at 90 points they were ludicrously tough. So now they're 130. That is a very reasonable points for them. I don't think they're overcosted at all. I think that Harlequins are still a good army. They're just not oh, look at this, I have 15 boats and stuff to put inside of them and good characters. Like, you now have to make decisions. You now have to cut Void Weavers, which does mean your damage output at range is going to be a little interesting.
9 Void Weavers is basically dead.
It has to be. Like,
I'm glad that we only own 6, because I think 4 to 5 is the right number.
I think 4 to 5 is the right number. I'm very happy they did that. And you lose Mirror Architect on all of them. Means it's so much easier to just hit them. Because anything 12 inches or less, anything 18 inches or less, basically didn't exist against Void Weavers.
Light is unchanged as well, but it no longer stacks with Mirror Architect, of course, because it doesn't work on everything.
So Mirror Architect plus Light gone. Void Weavers up, Star Weavers up, just to reflect how durable they are. I'm very happy about this. Very happy.
Fish of Fury, Death Guard have both Bubonic Astartes and Heretic Astartes, so they do get it. So Death Guard get the nice obstacle on troops and quite a durability increase.
It appears we may not have gone over Death Guard a lot as much. We can go back to it.
Their vehicles do also get a lot thicker.
Yes, their vehicles, their dreadnoughts,
halberds. Death Guard do get a lot of good stuff from that, honestly.
Yes, Death Guard are going to be another army like CSM, where it's just going to be tougher than you think to kill them.
And adding Obstacle to their Terminator is totally okay.
It's what they needed.
I was shocked when Thousand Suns got. I'm like, wait, why did one of the two?
It must have just been a space in the middle. But Death Guard are going to be very good, I think. They're just going to grind their way onto objectives.
It's going to be a real pain in the butt.
You're going to tell them, please don't do that. And they're going to say, I'm doing it anyway. And then they're going to walk onto the objectives, and they're just going to hold them for more turns than you want them to.
Because they basically just put Storm Shields on every Death Guard Terminator. And okay.
It is a big, big change that they got objective secured, because they didn't have good access to it before. It was pretty easy to kill the OBSEC that was on an objective. Because it was either Poxwalkers. I don't even remember if Poxwalkers have OBSEC. I think they do.
Lots of comments on Leviathans. Absolutely love this buff.
Yes, Leviathans are very good. So it was very easy to kill OBSEC off of objectives before. Slap your own OBSEC on, and then you don't have to deal with the Terminators. And now you just don't get the option to do that. You have to deal with them, and it's going to be very annoying to do so.
Blight Lord of a Brick is back.
100%. Blight Lord Brick's 100% back. The one thing you have to worry about with the Blight Lords is Marines, where you're not going to kill them with the Blight Lord shooting.
Or their comics. Their comics only AP2.
On the axes, you probably switch over to swords.
That's fair. That's fair. A lot of these AP2 or 3 weapon options, you now need to switch to the AP3 one.
Probably, yes.
Is Richard sticking with Tau after this? Richard actually does not know what the nerfs are, because he's still asleep. So we did not want
Richard's
to disturb
nerfs, I sleep.
Bat Laura with the Red Corsairs hype in the chat. 20-man bricks coming back every time you kill them. Come on, Jack. Red Corsair hype. Red Corsair hype. And you start with extra CP. You just spam 120 Chaos Space Marines at people, and you just one wound right at them.
I mean,
honest to God, for 12 points, essentially a 2-up save, Chaos Space Marine, just the troop choice, is a little bit broken. You know what? And I think they can have a little bit of broken as a treat, because they've been bad for 5 years.
And I don't think they're like that broken.
No,
I think they're
not that.
They're just broken. Like a touch of broken.
Just a little broken.
Just like sprinkle a little.
Just a little. High AP is going to be in vogue, in my opinion. Yes, and so are Mortals.
Very much so.
Because screw trying to make Marine players take saves.
Yes.
If I have to see Jack's just absolutely poop-eating grin every time I shoot an AP2 gun into Sanguinary Garden cover, I'm not going to do it.
Oh yeah, Blood Angels got buffs.
Yeah, Blood Angels got buffs.
So their best fast combat units did not rely on Storm Shields.
Yep.
And now Sangard have a 1-up save, which is cranked.
Yep.
And Death Company effectively have Storm Shields now, which
Yep.
is cranked. So,
Yep.
yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. Blood
that's
Angels
what it
got real good.
Yeah.
Like, actually real good. Their
Actually
only
real
weakness is Mortal Wounds, which you can take a Warlord trait to compensate
mitigate,
for. You take Soul Warden, and you get 5 up against it. Now, that won't help out against Maliceptors because they just will power straight through it. But, like, yeah, Sangard are super tough. They're super tough. Indirect got removed. So that means that your biggest worry was Indirect with Salamanders. With Blood Angels.
Yeah.
Your biggest worry was Indirect with Blood Angels. That's gone. And then all of your units just got way better. So I think you drop Vanguard Vets in their entirety.
Yep.
And you just take 3 units of Sanguinary Guard and 3 units of Death Company, and you see where that leaves you.
Yeah.
And I think where it leaves you is in a fantastic spot. I actually think Blood Angels got one of the bigger buffs from that because all of their like White Scars, all of their combat used Storm Shields.
Yep.
So their durability kind of stayed about the
get some
same.
extra
They just got
points.
cheaper, or they got an extra attack with a second Lightning Claw. Whereas same with Space Wolves.
Yep.
You get an extra attack or you get cheaper. Blood Angels is like, no, we're actually getting that durability bonus on our units that we want.
Immediately, yep.
And it's huge. It's huge. I do actually think Blood Angels are quite good.
Yep.
Now.
Yeah. Tau Empire, last one.
Just winding down on Harlequins.
Oh, yes.
I think they're still going to be good. I think these nerfs had to happen. And I think they're going to be a lot less just absolutely cancerous to play against.
Yes.
I'm very excited for this. And I think Harlequins players should be excited for it too.
Yeah.
Because
they still kept a lot of their tricks that they could have lost.
they have a lot of tricks still, a lot of fun stuff. And you're not broken.
Yeah.
You're not just spamming 9. Nobody likes playing with 9 Void Weavers. Like, come on.
Yeah, the Deathwatch Army of Renown is going to be cranked as well.
Yeah, Deathwatch Army now is going to be real good.
Nick with a $5 super chat. Do you think the nerfs, mainly points-wise, to Admech and Drukhari still make sense in the new meta? Would the old points allow both to compete better? Going somewhere in the middle might be the happy medium. I think Admech and Drukhari will both suffer in the current meta.
I think Drukhari will fall to around like an average army, maybe a bit above average.
I would actually guess a little below because they have a lot of AP like 1 and 2 in combat. That's kind of bad in the Marines now.
They do. Yeah, I think you drop Hellions because Hellions are only AP 1, I think.
Yeah, so they just are AP dash in the Marines.
That's not good.
That's
going
going
to
to
bounce.
Single thing.
Incubi, Drazar.
Incubi are still good. Drazar
all
are
the
still
combat
good. All the
characters.
combat characters are still good.
So
They're not. Drukhari are not going to be bad.
no, I think they're good. I think they're an average. I would say average to above average.
Yeah, they're
Army.
probably if they drop close to 50% win rate, so be it.
What was the other army that we were talking
Admech.
Admech? I think Admech are still fine.
I think Admech is still fine.
Yeah, I think Admech are still fine. Honestly, I wouldn't revert any of the changes.
No,
I think
let's
they're in a good state now.
let them see how they do in the current meta. They were both, I would still say, an above average army.
Yeah.
So if they drop close to average, or if they go to 48% win rate, I don't think they need anything.
Yeah, if they drop to 40, which I don't see.
They drop to 40,
I just don't see. If they drop to 40, start reverting changes, but I don't think.
Oh, Dante knows what up. What about Lightning Claw Terminators for White Scars? 100%.
Oh,
Super good.
Super good. White Scar Lightning Claw Terminators are going to start ripping people up.
Yep.
Because they're durable, and they hit like a monster truck, and they still have the insane mobility.
Yep.
All right, last army to take
Tau
changes.
Empire. Change the second bullet point of Mont Cotta Reed. Each time you make a ranged attack, the target's close eligible unit within the range shown on the table below. Reroll a wound roll of 1.
Something is missing from that sentence.
Yep. No more +1 AP.
Yes.
Just period, gone, done. No, they're gone.
Yes. No -1 AP on that is huge. It means that you have a outside of line of sight. Air bursts are just AP 0.
Yeah.
Functionally, I mean AP 1 with your opponent getting +1 to the armor save, which means against Marines it's AP 0 and they get +1 to the armor save.
Yeah. And also a thing to call out about that is that I think with some let's just go through all the changes.
Yeah, let's go through all the changes.
The first bullet point of devastating counterstrike, which is the far side enclave tenant. 2, each time you make a ranged attack against a unit within 9 inches, the target's treated as having a marker light token. So you can no longer get it from reserves. It's only 3-inch change to get the extra marker light, but it is very crucially the reserve range.
Not reserves.
So
you actually have to. Well, I mean, if you're coming out of reserves, you're probably gonna get marker lights anyway.
Probably
Like real marker lights.
Well, you can't do them on the turn you come from reserves.
You shoot with something.
Something else has to do it.
Yeah, like a character.
So, but you now have to use real marker lights, not your fake ones,
Yeah.
to get the buff on deep striking units, which I think is fine.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's the biggest deal.
I don't think it's the biggest deal, but it is nice. Remove core from broadsides, which really only means they no longer reroll ones to hit.
I think this is actually a buff.
Shadow Sun.
Follow with me on this. It's a buff to Tau because broadsides are
You're going to make my joke.
This was my joke. I said it.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
So, broadsides losing core makes Tau stronger because broadsides were bad.
Yeah.
Everyone took them for whatever reason, but they were bad because they're slow and it's hard to get line of sight with them. Mm-hmm. Broadsides losing core means people are going to remove broadsides from their list, which makes their lists better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joke. Obviously, it makes broadsides worse, and the -1 to ballistic skill and -1 AP out of line of sight means
kind of gone.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Which, fine, whatever. They weren't that great anyway because they're slow. Like, getting line of sight is just hard with them.
Yeah, you just go full crisis spam for Tau now.
Full crisis. I always thought that's the strongest way to run them, and you just take all crisis suits.
Yeah. Repulsor impact field and photon grenade stratagem no longer stack with other negatives to charge, so you can't be -4 to charge from both, and you can't be -6 to charge from both in a forest. And in function, this probably doesn't change much because -2 to charge is already really bad. But in practice, this just means that you don't ever get to stack all of it to be the oops, you charged me from 1 inch away and rolled a 5 and still failed.
Yes,
which is fine. This is totally okay.
This is fine. It doesn't stack with forests is really what it is. If you decide you want to charge both Pathfinders and Crisis suits, you still only take the -2. Honestly, -2 is usually bad enough.
Yeah.
Like, the corner case of having a -4 is just not real, really. So, I don't see that as like a big change.
No, it's just nice to prevent feels bad, but it's not the biggest deal.
Tau definitely got a hit. They did not get reduced. They did not get atomized like Custodes did.
I will say, go ahead, sorry.
But they definitely took a serious hit. Especially the AP really hurts in this new meta.
In the Marine world.
Yes. That is going to hurt more than it looks like. Because they're essentially -2 AP into Marines. And they're -3 AP out of line of sight.
Yeah.
Like, Marines outside of line of sight are getting a 2 up against your indirect, period.
Yeah.
Whereas before they would get like a 5 up.
Yeah,
it's night and day.
Spicy boys.
Yep. Salamanders, which you're going to see a lot of Salamanders.
Can't reroll wounds against.
Can't reroll wounds. So they remove the second bullet point entirely against Salamanders. And Exemplar of the Montcalm is not going to do anything into them. So your damage is actually going to start having some trouble landing and sticking. And
crisis suits are still very good. And Tau shooting is still very powerful. It's no longer the get up close and do it.
Yeah.
So which I think is still fine for Tau. And Bodyguard being gone both helps and hurts Tau. Yeah. Bodyguard was one of the best things against Tau, and it's also one of their strengths. So that being gone. Yeah. We have a couple comments on Knights. Correct. Knights no longer have anything in the balance data sheet. So the rules that used to be in there no longer exist.
Yeah.
And I think they're just waiting on the Codex.
Yeah.
And I think that is a very bad month for Knight players that will hopefully be rewarded.
Yeah.
Maybe more than a month. We don't actually know.
Here's my feeling on Tau, like, in summary. I played Tau to one event. And at that event, anytime I got a full shooting phase, my opponent conceded.
Yep.
On the spot. Like, I took my turn. If I got to shoot my whole army into their whole army, every single time, my opponent conceded before taking their turn.
Yep.
That's not a good place for the game to be.
Nope.
So Tau shooting went down significantly, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
The one exception was Ryan Snyder, who committed suicide by cop with like his 2 remaining models, and was like, "No, I want you to finish me off." And I'm like, "I respect it, but you're not getting out of this one, my man." No, it was absolutely too much. Yeah. And they toned it down across the board in a good, reasonable way. Are they still strong? 100%.
Yeah.
Are they the nuclear annihilation that they were before? No.
Yeah. And each balance data sheet does remove the old ones. The old one is no longer on the website. It's no longer published. It's no longer there. So the old one is gone. Knights do not have OBSEC on armatures and count as extra models published anywhere to be found. So that is just gone.
Yep. So you probably go back to the Knight Lance, to the Freeblade Lance, just to get your OBSEC for this month.
I mean, honestly, me personally, I'm just going to play with Knights when the new Codex comes out and call it a day.
Yeah.
If you only own Knights,
RIP for a month before you get a new book.
I'm assuming, and yeah, they mentioned that the new codex is the reason that they removed it specifically for Knights. I'm like 90% sure they said that. Knights. Yeah, neither Chaos Knights nor Imperial Knights have updates in the addition to the data slate. Blah, 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 blah. And, yeah.
And those changes they saw in previous balanced data slates have been absorbed into the new codexes.
Okay, so hopefully they keep the count as models and OPSEC in new books.
It sounds like they will, which is honestly...
Totally fine.
It's totally fine. There's a month of it being deeply not fine, but then it will be all good.
Yeah, so terribly
you know,
sorry, Knight players, that you have to play with this for a month.
Sorry. Yeah,
I'm going to check to see...
1 month. And then you're fine.
If anything else got updated, because sometimes they update the main rulebook FAQ at the same time.
Nope, just Eldar.
No, so they did not.
We can go over the Eldar changes very fast. There's not much in there.
Yeah, sure. Doodle-doo.
Really, the biggest thing is I saw people talking about Baharoth as though the change is like a nerf to him. It isn't.
Yeah.
No part of Baharoth Baharoth is broken.
Yep.
But the reason he's broken is not because he can shoot, teleport, and then charge and teleport. That's not what was broken.
Yeah.
It changed to once per turn.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's whatever. He usually did one or the other. So
yeah.
They didn't change Baharoth basically at all. And that's kind of a bit of a miss for me. I think Eldar did need a bit of a tap, and I say that as an Eldar player. I think Swooping Hawks and I think Baharoth needed some kind of change. And then I think with the Indirect, and then if Baharoth and Swooping Hawks got a bit of a change, I think Eldar is perfectly fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, overall, where the meta's at here, because I think we're ready to just about wrap this up.
Yeah. I
need breakfast.
You need a little brekkie?
I need brekkie. I haven't eaten yet today. So, Nids and Craft World, of the probably 5 armies that were in like the top tier yesterday, Nids and Craft World were not touched, and Craft World wasn't the highest of that. It was probably Tyranids, then Tau.
Tyranids, then Harlequins, then Tau, then Eldar, then Custodes.
3 of those 5 got hit pretty hard. Dod's not going to happen. Just that's not happening.
Yeah, you lose imperatives.
You lose imperatives and traits.
Oh,
yeah, you don't. That doesn't exist. Anyways, so yeah, I lost my whole train of thought because I saw something offensive in the chat. Sorry, Dodds. All right. 3 of the top 5 got hit hard. Tyranids are still very strong. Craft World really didn't get any changes and are very good. But an indirect nerf hits Craft World more significantly than Tyranids.
Yes.
Because I've been waiting to unveil my master plan to Jack, and that is that Hive Guard ignore ballistic skill modifiers. Lol.
So they specifically called out that...
I'm not taking them because the +1 save means that they're on the AP1, and I don't care anymore. But laughing because Tyranid, if a synapse creature
they specifically called out Impaler cannons as taking a hit from this,
and yet they ignore
hit modifiers.
They ignore hit and ballistic skill modifiers if a synapse creature can see the target.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
I mean the reduce AP by 1
is enough.
Is bad enough, and then they're gone. Stack that with Marines where you're essentially AP 0.
Yep.
We're not doing that. So it doesn't matter. It's just funny.
It is funny.
It is funny. We'll see. I mean,
what got launched into the top is really the question.
Yes, I think Salamanders.
Marines are I would say Marines are
general
3rd right now. If I were to do a tier ranking, I would say Tyranids 1, Craft World 2nd, Space Marines 3rd.
Yeah.
Harlequins. But I would say actually Tau 4, Harlequins 5.
Probably.
With Sisters and Chaos right behind that.
I think Tau will struggle into Salamanders.
I do have them behind it, but yes.
Yes.
A Guard got a lot better, but they did not solve any of the inherent problems with Guard. The problem with Guard was not that your infantry squads just couldn't afford the weapons, or that, you weren't wounding enough when you shot things. The problem was that as soon as you get touched, the game's over.
I mean...
But they are more likely to kill people.
They are more likely to just drop people in one turn on their way in.
Yeah.
So
I think this balances out Guard's win rate while they work on a codex, please. A lot, but I don't think it really takes Guard into a go win an event category.
No, but I'm happy that they tacked on more.
At least making Guard more playable while they wait for a codex is a very nice thing.
So overall,
yep.
What's your take on the balanced data slate? Where do you think it leaves the metagame?
I'm gonna say 1.5 thumbs up. We're like almost there. We're like,
I would say like that.
Yeah, this is not the full 2 thumbs up of perfection. This is very definite, solid improvement that was necessary. We had to have something.
I think the necessary changes
have been made.
Tau is no longer nearly as oppressive.
Yep.
Custodes don't exist.
Custodes are gone.
They're gone. Bye. I'm so sorry. I played Custodes too.
Yeah, I'm sad
They're
about
just...
Clowns are no longer oppressive, but they're still probably very good.
Still very good, but they're no longer...
Craftworld and Nids untouched, with no clarification on Leviathan or Crusher that I have seen.
Yeah. Craftworlds were sneaky broken, where like people were taking them to events and not doing amazing.
But they also
kind of were. Like you would still see good players taking them up to top 8
and going undefeated as well.
We
saw like a lot of 5-0 second and third place with Craftworld. Craftworld are still winning 1 or 2 events a weekend, just not 4 like Clowns.
I think it's an army that hyper rewards high skilled play, so people weren't seeing
immediately.
Like Custodes, when Custodes are broken, A, everyone has them, and B, you can just jam your army in the center against people and it's fine. When Eldar's broken, it still hits like what is considered by our standards at the moment to be like a reasonable win rate.
Yeah.
I think Eldar needed a bit of a tap, and nobody really noticed that they did.
It's possible though that we can afford to wait a month until the next regular update for that. And also,
I think they're indirect.
Craftworld might suffer into Space Marines.
I think they do, honestly.
And that change alone, buffing other armies, may be enough to drag Craftworld down. Because Craftworld we're sitting at like a 60 to 65% win rate, which normally would be offensive, but in the context of the rest of the game, no one even noticed.
The win rates have been stretched like spaghetti. Like, you take
gotta
reasonable win rates and then everything's got whoop. So I do think they suffer into Marines. They suffer into, honestly, they suffer into Death Guard. They suffer into Thousand Sons. Anything that just sits there and just tanks shots and has OBSEC is going to be a problem for them. And their indirect got a lot worse, like so much worse. So honestly, Eldar did get a tap.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm fine with that. I think I'm okay with it. Baharoth did not get a nerf, but like whatever.
Yeah.
The indirect nerf is massive, and I think they're going to have a lot of problems with the new durability in the metagame, because they already have had problems in my experience with the durability of Tyranids.
Yeah.
I think I was dropping my indirect anyway because I just needed all the damage output, and it still was kind of not enough. So I think Eldar did get a tap, which they needed.
The indirect nerf, I think, is enough that we didn't need a specific Craftworld thing for now. We can at least wait and see how they pan out.
Yeah.
I would guess that they might want to love tap in the future, but they're not going to need a nerf on the scale that the 3 that we saw today were. No. They don't need that level. So I'm fine with them waiting a little bit to decide.
Tau and Custodes were oppressive as well.
Yep.
As well as Harlequins.
Yep.
All 3 have gotten serious, significant... This is not Drukhari nerfs, where they took the first round of nerfs and tanked right through with like a 70% win rate. These are serious nerfs. Custodes are going to fall off a cliff. Harlequins are going to be a good army, but not broken. Tau are going to be a good army, but I don't think they're going to be broken. Yeah. Space Marines got launched up to where they can compete. Honestly, a lot of armies got launched up to where they can compete. It narrowed the gap. It took the good armies, moved them down. It took the bad armies and moved them up. I think they're a lot more concentrated in the center now.
Yeah. Will, I really am. Thank you so much for that £5 super chat. Yeah, absolutely. They are unfortunately going to be taking some hits. Yeah, their indirect is only from Synapse. However, having Synapse see the target does mean they ignore ballistic skill modifiers. Lol. But Hive Guard still are resting in retirement on the shelf for a little while.
Yes.
And that's okay. I was really looking to do other things.
Yeah.
Will the boosted durability across the game make Tyranids stand out less? I think slightly less. I think Nids are less ahead of the pack than they were yesterday. But Nids, I would still vote as my number 1 army if I were doing a tier list.
It's not even close to me. Yeah. I
want to see what Space Marines do into them.
Yes.
That's the main question.
Yeah. I'd be very interested. I also think they're going to suffer a little bit from the fact that since durability's gotten amped up across the board, which is great because damage was out of control.
Yes.
Damage was out of control in the game. Armies just did too much damage in one turn. You got crippled in one turn. And that is no longer a thing, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm super excited for that. I think the fact that your damage needs to get up, you need to raise your damage in a lot of your lists. Means that Tyranids are going to be caught, in the backsplash from that a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Which is
fine. Tyranids,
it's fine.
Yeah, are still very good.
I think it, drops them by a hair, if that. I still think they're the best army.
Yep.
And they're the best into this new durability because they just drop they rain mortal wounds on you.
Yes, mortal wound output is very important in this meta. Slightly raining in Bodyguard does help the non-interactive part of Tyranids a little bit.
A little bit.
They
still have some decent non-interactivity.
Really good at it.
They're still probably the best non-interactive army now.
Yeah. Stonks for Kraken with extra AP. Yeah, Kraken just went up in stock because I really like extra AP.
Yes.
That feels good.
Yep. Armor matters a lot more now.
Yeah.
It used to be just like a lot of it was just
get AP2, get them to their invuln, call it
You're good. AP2 is no longer good enough.
Dark Angel, Inner Circle, Terminator armies, I would say solidly A tier.
Solidly A tier.
Yeah, thank you so much for that super chat, New Water. Solidly A tier, potential to push up higher, but we need to get some games in before I'm going to say higher than A tier.
Yeah.
But that is a massive buff for them. With Blade Guard and Nerf, do you think Sword Brethren are worth considering? Sword Brethren?
Yeah, Sword Brethren.
Right.
I actually thought about this morning. Yeah, I actually looked at my my Black Templars Codex this morning.
Yeah.
And I looked at them. Yeah, Sword Brethren got a lot better.
I really did. Have a lot of some of them new on Spur if you need any.
I might, yeah.
Yeah.
So you take everybody with a chainsword. You can splash in some weapons and nonsense.
Yeah, is that?
I think their weapon upgrades might even be free. I'm not even sure.
Oh, I have no idea.
I'm not sure. I looked at it with like no sleep this morning, so
they definitely improved.
I could be wrong. They got way better. The fact that they ignore the depreciation of your vow does not matter. You're probably not taking the mini transhuman and ignore because you don't get cover, and cover is now you don't need an invul now. You just take cover, you stand there, you ignore AP1, you're 3-up in cover, and ignores cover is also a big deal now in Space
Super
Marines.
big, yeah.
Super big.
No, this is guard should get above 30%. Assault intercessors have to fight twice. Eliminators with ignore be in cover. Oh, eliminators in cover just never die.
Yeah, they never die. They have a 0-up save functional.
Brood Brothers on Genestealer Cult. I would honestly look at Brood Brothers with Genestealer Cult now just to get Indirect that doesn't take nerfs.
Yeah,
because you just get
what
6.
Do you lose
for taking Brood Brothers? Not a thing. You cannot take more than 33% of your army in Brood Brothers. So you can take 650 points of a Brood Brother detachment and they're fine. You lose. Genestealer Cult lose nothing. Brood Brothers lose regiment because they replace whatever regiment they were with +1 leadership. Yes. It might even be +2. I don't care. And then they don't get warlord traits. They don't get relics. They don't get the tank commander upgrades, like the tank ace upgrades. So they don't get anything special. But you just take guard data sheets, which have some indirect.
Yeah.
John and Jack, do you think that Necrons should have gotten any changes? I think Necrons were perfectly fine and on the line of where they should be before, but a lot of armies getting buffs probably just passed them.
Well, so here's the thing with that, right? Maybe
they needed a little bit.
No. Maybe people passed them up, but here's the thing: damage has gone down.
Yes,
across the board because a lot of armies lost damage in this data slate, and what that means for Necrons. They don't care how durable you are.
No, they just exist and be obsec.
They just exist and be obsec. If you can't kill 20 of them in a go, which Tau may have lost the ability to do, Custodes, never could do it.
Harlequins no longer are spamming the big Void Weaver squads.
Exactly.
So to do it.
So the fact that all that damage dropped off kind of means that Necrons get to just do their thing. And when Necrons do their thing, they are super hard to beat. So I don't... Even if they don't kill you, right? They have these 20-man squads. People are taking the Canoptic Reanimator now, so you have 4-up reroll 1s to stand back up. I think it's a big deal. The one problem is Tyranids roast and toast them. Yes. And that's
to counter that, if Mortal Wound spam becomes too prevalent, you would have to consider adding reanimation against mortals.
Yeah, I think reanimation against mortals kind of needs to happen.
Just at this point, that would be how I buff them.
No army before could spam out mortals in the psychic phase.
The way that Tyranids can.
Yeah, because mortals don't do it. It's mortals in the psychic phase. And Tyranids will pick up a 20-man brick in the psychic phase. Yeah. Just in the psychic phase. And then they'll start working on the next one.
Yeah. Well, I really am with a £2 super chat. Thank you so much. Do you think a lot of terrain is OP for combat armies? Yeah, if there's a complete reduction in indirect, as in it's just gone from the meta, and we're playing on super dense boards, melee armies are going to be really strong.
Yeah, Death Guard is going to be a nuisance.
Yeah.
Gravis Armor is Terminators are going to be a problem.
Yeah. Orcs and Genestealer Cult getting no direct buff, so the Genestealer Cult likes the indirect changes and the toning down of other things.
So much.
But orcs specifically, I look at it as like, ooh.
Eldar are like Tau. Tau for bodyguards is Eldar for indirect.
Yep.
They abused it, but they were also the best one to use it against.
Yes.
So
Tau get better. Eldar get better because indirect is gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, orcs definitely, I think, are going to suffer with these changes.
Orcs are going to suffer.
I don't think. Yeah.
I think they were already having problems killing Marines in combat, honestly. And now they're going to really have some problems killing Marines in combat. I mean, Goths might be the way. You just take Goths and you rumble up with as much damage as physically possible, and you just try and end people.
Yeah.
That might work.
Salamanders, Plasma Scepters with Gravis and Armor of Contempt. Yeah, all the Gravis get better.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of changes. All right, I need a bagel, so I think I'm good.
Are you the bagel hunter today?
I am the bagel hunter today.
You're going to put your bagel on a plate.
Yep.
So you're going to have the bagel hunter's plate.
All right, I am.
I'm super pumped about this.
Pumped. This was definitely so. There was we knew there was a balance issue coming this week. There was is it going to be perfect? Is it going to do enough? Was the question. Of these two, this is perfect. This is enough. I'm going to say it's here.
Yeah, it's way closer to this is perfect than not enough.
I think that this is enough. This keeps the game alive because I was a little worried there. This is a great improvement for the game overall. I think them buffing a lot of the loser armies is really important, and I think that these buffs were more impactful than the previous wave of buffs.
By a lot,
and that is enough to really help them.
I don't think they missed any, too.
No, I don't think so. All of the long-suffering armies. The one that got missed the most was Knights, but we know there's a Knight Codex coming out very soon, so I'm willing to give a pass that one. Demons, I think, are the ones that got missed.
Yeah, they missed Demons.
Demons are terrible.
Yeah, Demons are super bad.
Yeah.
Which,
hopefully Demons get some love soon.
They missed Demons, but every other army, if your army has not been doing well, it is probably in a good place now.
Yep.
And that means the balance of the game is really good.
Yeah.
Outside Tyranids.
Yeah, we're going to have to see where everyone falls. Some of the nerfed armies may have gotten hit too hard. Some of the buffed armies may have gotten buffed too much. We don't know yet. We just need to cram in some games. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on our streams.
That's true. And we're going to be there's going to be a lot of discussion in the Art of War Discord, which you can join if you are a War Room member.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot of conversation in all of our faction chats about what this means for the various armies. I'm sure they've been on fire today.
My phone has been. I didn't turn my phone off before I started the stream. It's just been going zzz, 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 this whole time. Matto, the $5 super chat. 5 Rhino Bloody Rose list on stream when, Jack?
It's a lot better.
It's a lot better than it was.
It's a lot better than it was.
But everything's better than it was with Sisters. Oh, God, the extra Miracle Ice makes me just positively thrilled. That was the one.
I am excited to brew.
So happy.
I do actually want to put that on stream, to be honest. Because Rhinos got a lot harder to kill. They got a lot harder to kill.
Don Peters, don't worry. There's a lot of Space Marine coming up. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a game later today at 1 p.m. We're going to have a game tomorrow at 1 p.m. Yes, 30 Tyrannic War Veterans. They're AP3 shooting, which you kind of need right now.
And they reroll hits and wounds against
Tyranids.
Against Nids.
I love it. All right. I'm ready. I'm super excited. There's a ton of content coming your way. We're going to have a lot more videos on this YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, do all the good things. Sign up for the War Room. In that, you can get access to the Art of War Discord, as well as all of the games we're about to put on, because we are going to go into overdrive. We are going to go into overdrive.
That's right. We've been in a little bit of a doldrums with the meta. We've been not feeling it. I've just, I haven't really been feeling the meta game. We haven't really been playing that many things. I am reinvigorated. I'm ready to hit the ground running.
Yes.
Just like I am with this £5 super chat from Henrik Ritterheim. What do you guys think of the changes for Tau? If you go back and you watch, we actually went in quite detail. I think they're still a good army, but they definitely took a serious hit, which they needed.
The serious hit was important. I think that Tau are still quite viable. I don't think that they have gotten removed from the game. I think Custodes got hit harder than Tau, and I think Tau have a lot more room to still play.
You take broadsides out, you put crisis suits in, like really should have been all along.
Yep.
And you're good.
Yeah.
I think. You don't end worlds now, which is
fine.
You
do not, thank goodness. All right.
I
think we're going to send you off with a commercial for that very same worm. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We will catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There's so many rules in 40K, hundreds of events, and constant updates. Skip the learning curve of Warhammer and join the pros. Art of War is led by multiple world champions with decades of success. We teach clinics, stream games, and inspire you to succeed at your favorite hobby. Join our global community of gamers just like you.